Good morning, good morning, good morning, family. How are you doing this beautiful Talk to People Tuesday? I hope you wake up with a brand new attitude to start a brand new day because there are great things waiting for you in this day. Well, you have dialed into the Team Method Lifestyle Call. This is your host, Pastor Denise McDowell, along with my business partner, One Star, Pastor Del Wafer. Family, the line is open. Go right ahead, introduce yourself. Where are you calling in from? Hi, Gladys. How are you this morning, Gladys?
Best and highly favored.
Ooh, yes, you are, girl. Keep on passing those blessings. They're going to keep coming back, right?
Hallelujah, yes.
Yeah, don't get me shouting this morning, Gladys. Don't get me shouting now.
This is Pat Love, North Carolina.
Well, hello, Miss Beautiful. Pat, how are you?
I'm okay, my dear. How are you today, Pastor Denise?
I'm doing pretty good. Everything going good with you?
Yes, ma'am, and I'm so glad to hear you're doing well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, indeed. Thank God for these praise, right?
Absolutely.
Well, good to hear it this morning, lady. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Well, come on, family. Welcome with us this morning. We have Houston in the house. We have North Carolina in the house. Who is with us this morning?
Melissa Honeybee.
Of course, Melissa Honeybee. How are you, girl?
Fabulous. Thank you.
Can't wait to hear all the great things you're going to be sharing today. Awesome things happening to us at Network Town. I'm telling you, just life-changing things are happening here in Team Method Network, and we just need to keep hearing it over and over, and we need to make sure we're sharing the phenomenal things that are happening here. Well, family,
Reveal, California.
Well, hello. How are you, Pastor Joseph, Mr. LCQ qualifier, Mr. Mercedes?
Hi, wonderful and good. We missed you.
Well, good to have you here. Always, Pastor Joseph. How's everything going in California?
It's just sunny and shining, and money is falling out of the sky.
I tell you, it's almost hard to believe. Isn't it almost hard to believe?
It's so easy. It's like a dream come true.
It is.
Amen.
It is.
Harriet Hagen, Forestville, Maryland.
Hi, Hagen. How are you? Forestville, Maryland. Welcome to the house.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Who else is with us this morning? Go right ahead and introduce yourself.
DC in the house, Robert Smith.
What's up, Robert? Washington, D.C. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm great. I'm fantastic.
Wonderful.
From DC.
Well, hi, is that Yolanda?
How you doing, DC?
I'm doing
Wonderful.
How are
Washington,
you?
D.C.
How
you doing, Dr. Pastor?
I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
I'm hanging in there, dear. Nice to hear your voice.
Good to have you here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, come on,
Great.
Samuel.
It's in Oakland, California.
Hi, Mr. Houston. How are you, sir?
Highly blessed and highly favored. And how are you?
Ooh, I'm doing great. I love that highly blessed and highly favored. My goodness. Ooh, I love that. You pass that blessing along, all right, sir?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Keep it coming, family. Who else is with us this morning?
Good morning, Sheila Taylor McDuffie from Lanham, Maryland.
Oh, whatever, Miss Sheila McDuffie. We know you're hanging out in Las Vegas. You know you're hanging out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, having a wonderful time. I guess I'm going to call in from my business partner, Paul Jackson and Alfreda Jackson. Mr. Jackson is here in the kitchen fixing breakfast. What a wonderful partner.
Oh, wow. Mr. Jackson fixing breakfast time.
Oh, he's a cooker. Yes, he is.
Whoa. Well, welcome, family. Good to have you on here all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. Can't wait till y'all get back home next week.
I know. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Jackson. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the call, family.
All callers are muted.
Getting up here this beautiful Tuesday, Talk to People Tuesday morning. So good to hear you all calling. It's so good to hear that some of you are really taking vacations and really beginning to enjoy life and benefiting from the fruits of your labor. You know, it's like Pastor Donald Joseph said, it's like a dream come true. And it really is here in 10. I mean, it's almost like a dream come true because we're hearing so many wonderful testimonies. And these are not just little testimony. It's like Melissa Honeybee said yesterday. It's like people are being pulled out of their shells, and it's like they're given that second chance to just get out there and live it up. I keep reading Sherry Reed's testimonies on Facebook, and every day Sherry is posting something different, and she's taking pictures of herself and her family and her husband. And Sherry, if you remember, she was homebound, if I'm not mistaken, and Melissa cleared up for me. I think it may have been 10 years. She was just locked away in her home and would not come out of her home because she was not satisfied with her weight. And then she got a hold of these sprays, and she lost, I think, 50 pounds in like the first few weeks. And now she's not only out of the house, she's traveling. She's in the swimming pool. She's going swimming. Her and her husband are going in and out of town doing missionary work. And she's on the beach, and she's got her mom and dad out of the house. And it's just beautiful to see her just get this life and then to share it with us. And we can just see so many wonderful things that happen in the lives of people as a result of taking these natural, healthy sprays. Just putting something healthy in the body, something that the body needs so the body can do what the body is supposed to do. And you all are part of that good news. You know, you all should be very pleased with yourself. You should be very happy that you can be a part of something and that is making a difference in the world. And so I'm going to stop right here, bring on my business partner, One Star, Pastor Del Wafer. Are you there, sir? Pastor Del, are you there? Are you muted out? And if he's not there, I'm going to give him a time to chime in, because the lady that we're going to have on the call with us today, you all know her. I don't need to introduce her. Everyone knows. Everyone that's a part of TAN know who this lady is. And they know her because she's such a helper. She loves to help everyone. I mean, every time you call her, you have to do something. She says, okay. It could be the last minute. She'll say, okay. But she shared something with me over the weekend that was just mind-blowing. It was just mind-blowing, and she sent me a couple of pictures of it. And I didn't really want to look at the picture. She didn't have to go that far, but she did. And I want her to share not only that story, but I want her to share many other stories of things that she's witnessed as a result of how she's helped so many people get their health to where they are now as a result of taking the vitamin sprays, and then how she's grown her team and how she qualified for this car. So let's bring to the call our friend, our sister, our buddy, our nurse, Miss Melissa Honeybee. Are you there, dear?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for anything.
It's so good to have you, Melissa. We have you on the call, quite often, but we love hearing you. You're such a passionate person, such a loving person, and you're involved with so many different things, and you just give so much of your time. But that testimony that you shared with me over the weekend was just mind-blowing. So I want you to share with the listeners what these pictures that you sent me, text me, and what happened there, and what's the progress. I don't know if you were able to get the lady on the call today, but if so,
no, not yet. But we will.
Okay. Yeah, but just go ahead and share with them what you shared with us over the weekend.
The lady that I met with, and believe it or not, in such a short period of time, she came at desperate needs, and she came at my home. Her name is Angela, and she's been a diabetic for 11 years, and she has had her every single digit in her foot amputated, but she kept the skin. So what she did is she had orthopedics cut out the bone, and they put pins in to make her look like she had a regular foot. Being a diabetic for 11 years, she's taking more pills and more pills and more pills, and I can't stress enough, the pills are binders and fillers, and every time we put those in our bodies, they deplete our vitamins. Mm-hmm. The only thing that protects our body from disease is nutrition, and it's complete whole vitamins. So for 11 years, she's been living with, let me take this toe, and then let me take this toe, and we're going to take this toe, and this toe. Well, those are all gone. Now she's got a decubitus ulcer on her heel. And so it's created a cater hole, and I sent pictures. I'm like, the pictures I'm getting ready to send are very graphic, but I wanted to share it because I thought it was very important for everyone to see the healing process. Now, granted, this was Thursday evening at 5:30, she came to my home, and I opened my home to everybody. You know, they called and said, you know, can you help me? I'm like, come on over, come home. So she came over, and she had a boot on because they gave her a boot. Well, the boot makes you walk on the ball of your foot so you don't put pressure on her heel because, you know, it's continuing to decay away. That's what I'm just going to say. So her hole in her foot was going towards the bone, and the doctor had her scheduled yesterday for pre-amputation of her foot. So one of my downline, her name is also Angela, called me and she said, can you help my friend? And I said, well, have her come over and let me look to see what we got going on. And she took off her boot, and, you know, of course, me, I like to get all into all that. And so I'm looking at her foot, and, you know, I advised her we needed to, first of all, she needed to air that out because, you know, the moisture you keep in, it's harder to heal. And you got to let the oxygen get in there. So now you got to understand, me having a medical background, I've been doing it for 27 years, being a physician's assistant. I see patients in the hospital. I prescribe medicines, medicine, and I treat people. So I'm not telling you this is what you need to do, but I'm going to tell you what I did. I got a list of her medicines. So what I did is I did a history and physical right there in my house. What medicines are you taking? So I knew this medicine's taking her vitamins out. This medicine is taking her vitamins out. This one is completely sucking this out, and this is sucking it. So then I was like, I did the math. Okay. So what I did is we gave her a 4-pack minus the swim. I'm not worrying about the weight right now. What I'm worrying about, let's get in there and let's get her the best nutrition in her system to counterbalance the pills that are depleting her from any nutrition that she's receiving by consuming food. Now, you have to understand, this lady has been cut on almost every year with other little minor things. And if you don't know anything about it, every time you get cut, your D or your B vitamins, your absorption, gets depleted because it goes straight over to the wound to try to heal. So that means you've got to put that B back in your system. When you don't do that, your D completely is gone as well. So we know diabetes is a B and a D deficiency. And if you don't know that, you're not listening to my calls. I'm going to
No. Say it again, Melissa. You said that diabetes is a deficiency in vitamin D and vitamin B?
Yes. And I will always say that B boost should be your best friend. That should always be the first spray you sell out of. Because I don't care if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I need to lose weight. I don't hand them a Slim, I hand them a B, a vitamin D, the D power. And they're like, well, that's not your weight loss. Well, if you want to really lose weight, I'm going to give you this, this, and this, and we're going to get it all off and not have to worry about you fighting deficiencies that last 10 pounds you can't get rid of and this and that. We'll go on to that. But your D power, your D3.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Your first spray that you always sell out of. Because without D, you cannot survive. It's in every single organ, every single tissue. And that's the key, tissue. You know, we have a lady that's got a decubitus ulcer, that her tissues are decaying slowly. To get any nutrition, you have to have absorption. That's your B, B12, B3, B6. So there's where you see the correlation. You got the B and D deficiencies for diabetes. But I'm going to go back to this. So what I did with her is I generated a regimen, and I'm just going to tell you, I jacked her up on vitamins. And I also gave her cell energy, and this is probably going to, I'll tell you what I did. I have her doing 15 sprays of D-Power, 15 sprays of D-Boost. I have her doing 24 sprays of 10, Super 10, and I have her doing 15 sprays of Cell, and I also have her doing 15 sprays of Cell externally. So what happened was, so she went home and started the sprays. the next morning she sent me a picture, and I said, please, whatever you do, I need you to let it air out overnight. So she only did, the regular dose of everything that night because, she started at late at night. And I had her do 5 sprays of cell topically and 5 sprays of cell internally. So around lunchtime, she sends me a picture, and she says, how does it look? And I'm like, holy mac, the hole is closed. It was completely open.
Wow.
So what happened was the cell energy got in there, and it started working on the inside for healing, as well as the other vitamins, and it started working on the outside of rejuvenating those tissues to get them alive to start closing. And granted, Monday she's scheduled to get an amputation of that foot because the hole wouldn't close, and it's been there for a long time. So, this is very, no one wants to lose their digits or their limbs or anything. We want to keep everything that we're born with.
That's right.
So she calls me and says, oh my gosh, she says, my hole is now starting to close. I said, well, it's working. And I said, I asked her, I said, do you own some Crocs? Because I don't want her in that boot anymore. And she said, yeah, I do. And I said, wear your Crocs. And I said, what's going to happen is kind of like flip-flops. If you women know, when we wear flip-flops, we put all of our pressure pretty much on the ball of our foot because we get the back of it flipping. I said, you're not going to put pressure on that heel. You're going to mainly put it on the ball of your foot and use your toes or the pins for the motion to walk. So she switched out of her boot for me and went into a flip-flop. I went into the Croc. So the next day she sends me another picture. Oh my gosh, it's closing like another 1/8 of the inch more, and another 1/8. Every day it's closed more and more. Today I got last night's picture, and we're about 1/8 of an inch from being completely filled and closed.
Wow.
So what has happened is her total deficiencies went completely, when she put nutrition in, it all went straight through to that wound, because that's how our body is programmed. If you've got something that's not right, it goes, everything that she just consumed from the spray internally and then externally went straight there, and it's healing that wound. This wound has been open for way too long, and the doctor was going to cut, which thank God it got now canceled yesterday. She went to the doctor instead of getting it cut off. He prescribed her a different boot, and I'm like, you don't need that boot. But, she's got an orthopedic or surgeon that's been working on it for 11 years, cutting this toe and this toe and this toe.
Wow.
But she contacted me last night, and she said he prescribed a knee boot so she would put more pressure towards the ball of her foot. But the Crocs do the same thing, and we can go get Crocs for $40 instead of a $600 boot.
Yeah.
So that's the choice that she's going to make, but I don't think she went ahead and filled it. But the thing about it is she sees progression. She sees the actual healing. And can you imagine 11 years of having each different digit and everything start getting cut out of you? And from Thursday till Sunday, from Thursday night till Saturday, or Thursday to Friday, the whole closed, but it wasn't all the way up to the surface. And every day it kept getting close to the surface, close to the surface. So what we did is rejuvenated where the skin could start healing. And every single spray that she was taking internally went directly to that wound to start healing. That's just how our body works. But can you imagine 11 years giving one toe after another toe, and then say your foot can be cut off? And she sent me a message on Sunday, and she goes, what do you think? And I said, I think you can cancel that surgery. So she went in and, her doctor, all he did was say, go ahead and let's get you a boot so you can walk differently and not put any pressure on that. Same thing, the Crocs thing. So the long story short, she gets to keep her foot, and now it's healing. And they've never seen anything like it, and it's been going on for 11 years. That's huge. And now all that boot, now if you recall, that was Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, 4 days. We took an 11-year lady with diabetes and issues and surgery after surgery after surgery, and it took that limited amount of time. And that just shows she was so severely deficient. As soon as she put nutrition in, it went straight to that wound, and that was my goal. my goal was I'm going to go put enough in you so we're going to counterbalance all those pills that you keep taking to make sure we can get just enough nutrition to get there. And, yes, I did do it externally. This is not something I'm going to tell you all should jump out and go do because you need to be knowledge in this field. But I've done it for, 27 years, and I knew. And, of course, I monitored it. I, made her communicate with me every day and send me pictures so I knew what was going on. And this is the thing, and I won't say it enough. We have a phenomenal tool and products that is for everybody. And we just saw this woman that could have had her foot got off and is no longer having to worry about that. And she's going to be my probably biggest advocate out there and strongest distributor. Why? She's living proof of something that has completely changed her life, and it was 10 vitamins place.
Wow. Now, can you imagine the excitement that she's going through, knowing that, for the last 11 years she's having, parts of her body amputated because of diabetes. And now just from 4 days, of loading up on nutrition through these vitamin sprays, she's counseling an operation that she was scheduled to have her hip amputated. That's amazing.
It is. Well, this is one thing, Pastor Denise, I have to tell you. Thank God we have the combination, because not only do we have the healing, but guess what?
Yes.
She even told me, she goes, I feel good today. I haven't felt good in a long time. I feel happy.
Wow.
So what did we do? We stimulated her brain with our bees. We stimulated, the serotonin. We stimulated things that she hadn't been able to feel. She's been numb for all these years. Now she's feeling a little bit of life back in her. She's got hope. She's got amazing results, and it's because it's that you've got to have that belief factor. And I'm just going to tell you, once someone gets these vitamins and they start feeling, and the belief factor kicks in, Aunt Melanie has no idea what's going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. And you throw it out, Sherry Reed, same exact thing. And I work closely with everybody that I put on the sprays because just because of my background, I just want to know how they're doing. And I will tell you, every single person that gets on the sprays and I work with, I ask them to create a log to humor me. But that's kind of like me having a medical chart. I need that for my own, so I'll know exactly what's working and what isn't working. And I don't care if it's even minor. I want to know what's going on. And this is going to be the key. If y'all are listening, this is going to be really the key for your success. If you learn exactly the dynamics of each of one of these sprays of what they do, and when someone sends back a message to you of, I have just got the giggles today, and I have not laughed in such a long time. You know what that just told me? Wow. Her brain got stimulated, her D's working, there's no more depression. And you know what I say to them? Oh my gosh, your D and your B's working. That's just fabulous. Guess what? It's a belief now, oh my gosh, these things are working. And then next day you'll get a message. I no longer have aches and pains. And, I used to have to take ibuprofen. I don't anymore. Now we know that Super 10's kicking in, the anti-inflammatory is working. Now they're realizing I don't need those ANSAIDs. I don't need that Prozac. I don't need it. What I need is whole nutrition, and it's working. It's that belief factor. But that's why I asked every single person. And I'm going to say, you asked me, how did I qualify for the car? This is why. I chose to take every person, and I did. I took common medicine, my background, and I changed it into your multi-level marketing. But I'm doing it my way of, so I have a little note, and every time somebody calls me, and they tell me something else has happened, I have a little notepad that I have on my phone. I hope to God my phone never crashes. I'll be in trouble. But I keep it record. And I ask them, please call me in 2 days. I always tell them, call me in 2 days and update me how things are going. And there's always something different that is happening. And I make a note. And I always say, now, do you know what that's happening? Because that B kicked in. That D is kicking in. This is what's going. So what am I creating? It's a belief system. And they don't know what the changes are. But I do, because I know what the sprays do. This is your role, distributors. You need to do the research. You need to understand what's going on. This is what's going to make you successful, of learning how the sprays work. You don't need to have my background. you've got a great reference out there. It's called Google. Google what vitamin C does for the brain. Google what vitamin B does for the brain. Google what vitamin D and B do in conjunction for tissue. Look what cell energy does, which you got your breakdown, your resveratrol, your glutathione, your alpha-potic. You got number 1, number 2, molecule. You must have those in your system to live. This is what you guys need to do, and this is what's going to make you more successful. And then all you're going to keep doing is saying, man, Amy and Mel were genius.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? They took an old, I'm just going to say, go back to like the Indians. They took natural nutrition, and that's all they used to treat their people to make them better. This is the same thing. This is exactly the same thing. I'm not saying we don't need modern medicine. Sometimes we get so severely. But what I'm saying is you have the tools. The thing about it is you need to create a belief system. The only way to do that is you have to work very, very personal with who is taking the sprays from you and ask them, humor me because this is new for me. If you'll just create a log of even, I don't care if it's silly stuff, you know, or maybe you've had the best night of sleep, let me know. You know, tell me in 2 days. So every 2 days somebody calls me and says, hey, I want to update you on what's been going on. And I listen. And that's the key. You got to learn to be quiet and listen. And once that happens, let them talk. Poor Pastor Denise yesterday, I couldn't shut up. But you have to listen. And then then you're going to get this excitement because you realize, oh my gosh, this person's life is changing. This person's, whole demeanor of living is changing. This person's getting healed. This person is able to go out and be it now. They're going to be out there and be your best advocate out there and your best distributor. And they're going to be able to sell these products and change more lives that you probably couldn't touch because you weren't in touch with these other people. What a phenomenal stream of people that you have together. And then I'm going to just tell you what I do, and that Pastor Denise knows. On Mondays, I do have a 10 tasting party, but it's not the same kind of tasting party that you guys have. I don't do a business meeting. I have fun. I decided that I needed to reward my team. And the way that I reward my team is every Monday night, because everybody dreads Mondays. Oh, gosh, I can't wait for Friday to come. Now, my people say, I can't wait for Monday night. So every Monday night, I cook, and I create an atmosphere. And I tell everybody, I don't care if you wear your pajamas. I don't care. Wear something cozy, something comfy. My home is your home. You kick off your shoes, get ready, because I'm going to treat you to a great meal. And I create a big buffet-style meal, and this is for every distributor, every person that is out there spraying. You know why? I want them to realize we're creating a fun, loving family atmosphere. If you have this fellowship, you enjoy being around your people, and everybody has different backgrounds. Everybody has different ways of doing things. I'm just going to tell you, I'm an old Texas country gal, and I love to entertain. And my first love, I'm going to tell you right now, I wanted to go to culinary school, and I was like, I do not want to work all those hours and holidays. Well, guess what? I've been doing it anyway. And so I chose the medical field, so I get to use my other fun hobby, passion thing. And so I cook for everybody. This is the deal. I tell them, come eat. If you bring 2 prospects, you don't have to bring a covered dish. If you don't bring a prospect, bring a covered dish. We know the ones that bring the people, the ones that don't, and we do a theme. Last night we had Mexican style night, so everybody brought something, or they brought somebody. And so I'm not a big drinker or anything, but I broke out my margarita machine, and we were making margaritas. We were having fun, we were eating fajitas. We were creating an atmosphere. Did we talk about sin? Not really. We sat there and we fellowshipped. We laughed. We giggled. We talked about people we were spraying. We talked about just fun stuff. We enjoyed each other's company. started at 6. My last person left at 11. I was like, whoa, Lord. They really wanted to be, they loved being in my house. I will tell you, in my children's room, because I don't have a whole lot of time to work with them, I have a little sunroom, and I made it like a game room. And there I have these massage chairs. I will tell you, people fight over them. They get in there, and they sit in those chairs, and they get massaged up and down. Everybody's in different rooms playing, doing everything. And then we all group into my living room. I'm sitting on the floor on pillows. I'm not going to lie to you. The couch and everything is all filled up. We've got a full house. We're having to bring more chairs in now. But that's great. That means growing. And then pretty soon, my big leaders will be doing the same thing in their home. And they're going to duplicate. They're going to duplicate. Why? Because it works. It works for me. It works for our area where we are, and they love it. And this is the thing. You know what I do? I do trivia. And this is what's so important. This is how my team is learning about these sprays and what the dynamics are. I put on flashcards. I just create little index cards. Alpha-lipoic acid, aloe. And I do all the ingredients are all the sprays. Everybody gets cards, 2 or 3 cards apiece. They can't look at the cards, and then they pull it up. Even my son, my 10-year-old, said, I want to play, and he was right there in there with us. So, and I don't care if they bring kids or whatever. We all are a family. So they pull up the card, and someone had, actually, I'll just tell you, my 10-year-old had glutathione. And, everybody was supposed to say, that person was supposed to say, what spray has glutathione in it? And they were supposed to say cell energy. What is glutathione? Number 1 molecule, the antioxidant that our body must have for survival. If they don't know that, guess what happens? Next Monday, they're going to have a cute little report of what glutathione is, and they did their homework, and they get to stand up saying, glutathione, this is what I'm going to tell you what I discovered about it. Why? If you know your ingredients, you know what you're putting in your body, you're able to educate your people out there, your spraying. Do you realize how you just change the dynamics of not only do you sell sprays, but you know everything about that spray? Wow. And that's the key. Wow. Education is so important. Of course, I'm doing it because of my background, and, next week, I'm so tickled, and everybody was so happy. I went and bought them some anatomy books of the body, and next week I'm going to teach them on how when we spray the sprays into our system and the nutrition, and it goes into our cells, and how things start transferring. And they're all tickled. They're like, well, we can't wait for next week. What do I do? Why am I doing this? Because if you are a consumer of your product, you don't know exactly the dynamics and how it's working, how on earth are you going to be able to tell them, hey, this is great for diabetes, and because I said so? That doesn't work. Some people want more information because we are a pill nation. But can you imagine you be able to say, you know what? Diabetes is a depletion of vitamin D and vitamin B. And if you've been cut on, then you lose your complete B, and you've got to rejuvenate that. If you don't rejuvenate that, your D is going to be depleted. If your D is depleted, then you get this autoimmune disease, and it's hard to ever get it back. We don't want you to get to that stage because limbs keep getting removed. Then gangrene can set in, and then we lose a life. So guess what? If you just take the time to discover and make a goal, kind of like you take time and you read your Bible and you read your verses. This is also something very important, because if this is really something that you're looking for as your retirement, your legacy, take a little bit of time to discover what ingredients are, what they do, so you'll be out there and be knowledgeable enough that that person is going to have that belief in you that you know exactly what you got in your hands. Because I'm going to tell you, it is, and I'm not going to lie to you, the best ever products out there, ever. Yeah. I would never got into it, and I never switched from medicine to be doing this and teaching and trying to, touch as many people as possible. So we have the best, phenomenal products out there, and you just to be a part of it. Learn. That's all I got to say.
Well, Melissa, I tell you, you shared some wonderful, great things. The lady, I'm telling you, that was needing the amputation, Monday, and now I'm not needing. That's just one of so many stories that we're getting as a result of taking the sprays. And you qualify for your car. I mean, Melissa, she's telling you how she's going her team. So the way that she does the PTP, if that works for Melissa, it's working. And she's now car qualified, and she's educating her team on the sprays so that they can know a little bit about the sprays. And it's always good to know something. You don't have to know everything about the sprays, but it's good to know something. I mean, just to know the fact that diabetes deplete your vitamin B and your vitamin D. That's something I didn't know. So that's something that I'll use to the presentation as I'm sharing it. So each and every day you're going to call in this call, and you're going to hear something that's going to add to your toolbox. That's going to make you, that more confident in what you're doing. And you hear these testimonies alone. My goodness. I mean, can you imagine now being able to speak with someone who's had, most of her toes amputated because of diabetes, and she's getting ready to have her heel amputated. But no, now she finds out about Melissa Honeybee. Melissa Honeybee gets her on the vitamin sprays, gets nutrition in her body, and now her heel doesn't need to be amputated. That's just incredible. So many wonderful stories that we hear. Melissa, you're doing a beautiful job with your team. Congratulations again on your car. And I think I'm going to come over for that. I'm going to have to come over for that buffet one Monday. To get folks to come on, you got to be creative. To get folks to come out on a Monday night, you have to be creative. And that's very creative. So go for it, girl. And also I love what you said about the weight loss. A lot of times when people say they want to lose weight, the first thing we want to give them is a swim by 10. Well, of course, swim by 10. I know. But if you don't have that vitamin D, it's going to be a little struggle. So,
and you know why? Vitamin D is searching for nutrition, because if you're deficient, and every single body part, every single thing, so it holds on to that fat. So why wouldn't you start with D? Get some D in your system, and then if you want to boost, let's do the others. And I'm just going to tell you, I do D, Super 10, and I do Slim. If somebody really wants a weight loss regimen, and boom, what did we see? We saw Sherry Reed in a couple months, 55 pounds. This is a woman that stayed inside secretary. She even told y'all she was a couch potato. She hated getting up because she knew she was going to just turn on the TV. But guess what? She got it in her. She was seeing results. I communicated with her daily. And this is the key, communication with who's on the page, because they are your next testimony. They are your next testimony.
Good stuff. Now, that's a lot. You blew us up today, girl. So thank you, Terry Whitener, for recording these calls, because we can go back and listen to these and pick up on those little tidbits that you heard that really kind of tripped your ear, and share that. Share, because this is how we're making it here in 10. We're just sharing the great, wonderful things. And I just praise God for Melanie and Miguel, because they really started off with the most important sprays. They could have selected anything. They could have selected any sprays, but they really, strategically picked the most important sprays to your overall health, and it has really made a world of difference. Melissa Honeybee, thank you. You're such a joy and a blessing to us all here in the team family, and we love you greatly. Now let's go out to Atlanta. One star, Kevin Vaughn, with our quote for today. One star, Kevin Vaughn, are you there, sir?
Oh, you better believe it. Can you hear me okay, Pastor Denise? What an incredible call again. I tell you, boy, you cannot beat this business, guys. You cannot beat this business. Pastor Denise, how you doing today? Good to hear your voice today.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, sir. It's going great.
And Melissa, Melissa she's just on a whole nother level by herself there. She's just amazing. Every time she talks, I tell you, everybody's listening around the country. So, Melissa, thank you so much.
She's been a nurse for 24 years, so her heart
exactly.
To helping and nursing people anyway, so this is right.
Absolutely. That's what I love about it. She's already qualified, and she loves people, of course, and she's in 10, and we're so glad she's on the team. But like you said earlier, Mel and Amy Gill are brilliant, ladies and gentlemen, and all those on the call, I want to make especially the new folks, you're in the right place at the right time. But also, Pastor Denise, we got a wonderful event coming up here in September. Time is winding up here. September 27th, we're going to be in the neck of the woods, and I got to announce this bus trip. We're putting again the bus trip is together. Pastor Denise, I mentioned to all those on the call, and Pastor Denise, what's important here And as you know, you and Pastor Dale mentioned this, we don't want anybody to miss the event and no excuses. So, guys, for those, anybody in the country that has people in the metro Atlanta area, whether they're in the business, looking at the business, want to come to the event, guess what? We got a 10 luxury bus from Atlanta, Georgia, going up through Greensboro, North Kakalaki, I love it, and stopping and picking up the team there and moving up to the East Coast to the 10 University with Melanie McGill and all the other great leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, real quickly, 55-passenger custom bus coming up, leaving Atlanta, Georgia area. I'm going to give you the details, so get your pen and paper handy, or you can actually listen to this over again. But a 55-passenger custom bus leaving Atlanta, traveling through North Carolina, up to the Maryland, to the Gaylord. It's going to drop you right off front in the Gaylord, ladies and gentlemen, and pick you back up and bring you home. Leaving September the 26th, 2014. The departure time is we're putting that together. We'll let you know as soon as possible. Leaving the Gaylord on Sunday, on the 28th. Round trip, Pastor Denise, guess what? Round trip, $150. Can you believe that? $150 round trip. I want everybody to figure out what they need to do to get on that bus. We want to fill that bus up, Pastor, as you know, and have a great time with our wonderful team. Can't wait to see Melanie again, and, of course, all y'all live at the event. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, also, too, I want to let you know the contact person is Marie Lathan. Marie Lathan. She's at 678-522-5735. That's her cell number. I'll say it again. That's 678-522-5735. That's her cell number. I want everybody to start calling her and get your seat. Go ahead and secure your seat for $150 round trip. Also, too, office number is 770-425-2875. That's 770-425-2875. And for those who need my number, just in case you need it for any reason, my number is 404-401-0233, 404-401-0233. As you know, Mel and Amy have awesome events, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss that. So, Pastor, we're real passionate about this. We want everybody that wants to be there to not have any excuse for getting there. So we're going to support that in the metro Atlanta area and go up to North Carolina. So give us a call, give Maria a call, and we'll get that rolling, okay? Pastor Denise, are you ready for some awesome quotes for today? I'm ready. Are you ready? I tell you what, I love it. Here we go. Hey, these are 3 quotes from Zig Ziglar. Pastor, I had the pleasure, before he passed, I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Zig Ziglar twice in Atlanta. Awesome man of God. Awesome man of God. Awesome individual. Just incredible. I actually shook his hand and saw his wonderful smile. It was just incredible. But Zig says, you were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win. Oh, Pastor Denise, you teach us all the time. Prepare to win and expect to win. Come on now, you expect to win. That's what Melissa's talking about today. She expected to win, but she's got the right combination. She's doing what she needs to do in her team, for her team. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, expect to win each and every day. The next quote, Pastor, is you are the only, I love this one, you are the only person on earth who can use your ability. Oh, I love that one. Oh, I love you. Hear that, Pastor? Guess what? I can't even pass it off to you or Pastor Dale or Melissa.
That's right.
You are the only person on the earth out of 6-7 billion people who can use your ability. I can't even pass it off. Ain't that wonderful? I love it. Hey, Pastor Lisa, the quote of the day is awesome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all excited about 10. I hope you're more excited about people's lives being changed. I tell you, you almost want to cry almost every call, Pastor, because all these wonderful testimonies are happening to people. That in itself is it. That's the business right there, ladies and gentlemen, is change lives. Hey, last quote of the day from Zig is, success means doing the best we can with what we have. Success is doing, not the getting, in the trying, not the triumph. Success is a personal standard, reaching for the highest that is in us, becoming all that we can be. And really, that sums up what Mel and Amy Gill has put together for our wonderful company, 10 specifically, in our entire network as well. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a very exciting time. Do not, as Pastor Dale mentioned it yesterday, do not play with this one. You need to be talking to everybody on the planet. You need to be passing out cards to restaurants, passing out, where they'll let you to leave your business card. You need to attend meetings. You need to attend organizations, events, associations, groups, just wherever you can get a lot of people together, ladies and gentlemen. You need to start passing out cards and let everybody know about these wonderful and awesome sprays and these wonderful, wonderful business model that we have as well. Well, Pastor Nix, I could be talking more, but I'm going to give it back to you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. God bless you. Everybody have a great and productive day.
Thank you, One Star, Kevin Vaughn, and thank you again, Melissa Honeybee, and Kevin's right family. There is only one and only you. You're a very unique creature, one of God's greatest miracles, and you have been called to a purpose. So celebrate you, celebrate life, celebrate your uniqueness. Know that only you can do what you've been called to do, and go out there and do it. Share yourself with the world. Let someone see the brilliance that's in you. And look, don't forget tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. T, Show Me the Money. Call us tonight right here on this very same number, very same access code. And I understand that we've had a little difficulties if you guys get in this morning. The only thing I can think of is everybody trying to download at the same time. That's the only thing I can think of, but we'll definitely have headquarters check into it just to make sure we don't have a problem with the line. But sometimes when a lot of people are calling at the same time, it will be a little difficult. But don't quit. Don't give up. Keep calling. Persist. You'll get through. But join Mr. T tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Show Me the Money call. And right after that, at 9 o'clock, join the beautiful Pat Lowe for another call on Team Effort Effort. Hear more testimonies. Hear more about the comp plan. Hear more about the company. Hear more about the great things that are happening in the Team Effort Network. Don't forget to get your ticket for September 27th. Right now, they're in the back office. Excuse me, family, for this is only 27, for $45. That's not bad. That's not bad for an early bird price. It's still an early bird price. So you're coming September 27th. Go to your back office, reserve your ticket, and invite some friends and guests. Get some for them also before that price go up. Block your room. I think we still have some rooms left at the Gaylord. If not, give us a call. Let us know, and we'll work something out with you. Thank you all for being here with us today. Be back on the call again tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And know this, family, you are loved and you are greatly
appreciated. Wow.
That's right. Have a